All right, appliance repair, bag loadout. The Mega Pro ratcheting screwdriver. This is something I carry in my pocket every single day, uh, just doing the inspections. I use the double bit system, the automotive version that uses the 1 inch, quarter-inch bits. That's pretty good too, but I like the options of having both. A couple of bits that don't come with the driver that I bought separate and I add. This bit allows for using a nut driver. Actually, most of these don't come with the driver. I bought the impact versions of every bit so that I could use with my drill. And for HVAC, Schrader valve. Other than that, it's a really good screwdriver. The Vera bit system, it has security and regular torques, which is really nice. Or the ratchet is nice because it's tiny. And then the extension that holds on to bits works well with a drill. In the bag, screwdrivers. Wiha. This is the Ultra driver. I believe this is, I don't remember. There's 3 versions, industrial, technician, and something else. But I bought this one because of the hex. They have metric and imperial. All the torques, and pretty it. These lock in. It has a collet, which is nice. Vessel, Japanese made. It's the palm or ball ratchet. This one is really, really smooth. I like that it has a long, skinny shaft. You can fit in really tight places. Knipex, side cutter. I believe this is the 10-inch model. Cuts through virtually anything. And if you have a hard time cutting through something with that, I have the Knipex bolt cutters also, which are really nice. I used to have both versions of the super long needle nose pliers, but I lost the really long ones or the straight tip ones. These curved ones come in handy a lot. Stripping wires. I have the automatic strippers. I'm still not sure if these are worth the money. They do work, but like this one is the newest one that they have, the 2020 model. It's like $100, but it's just, it's one of those things. I just bought it because I wanted to, not because I needed it. Regular stripper crimpers work really well. The extensions. This extension, it's hard to find. It's specific for Mega Pro because it has the retaining ball. I think you can find it online if you search for it. This is just the extension that comes with my drill. This, Matco, it has a reversible tip nut driver, which is nice. 1/4 inch, 5/16, but you can clean the magnet on this relatively easily, which is nice. I don't even know if any of this is in focus. For all the Klein fans, so this is the 11 one, or it's a Frankenstein of the 11 and 1. So I believe the handle itself, 11 and 1. This part is the HVAC magnetic 5/16 1/4 inch adjustable, well, not adjustable, but the sliding ratchet thing. This is from the heavy duty version, I think. And it doesn't matter, but it fits in here. And then Schrader valve and the Phillips and flathead. This is also the stubby version of the sliding thing for the 1/4 inch and 5/16. This is the precision screwdriver. It has Phillips and flathead in the sizes, what, 000, 0. And then the common stubby. This model is just the Phillips and flathead. It doesn't have the torques. If you need to get around a corner, I have 3 different tools that I use. They all serve their purpose. This is the Milwaukee. This is the $50 version. It's really, really smooth. If you get their, I think it's less than $20 version, the gear is loose and it binds. So if you want there's a 90-degree angle adapter, this one works really well. I believe DeWalt makes one also, but it's a lot fatter. So if you need a tight space, or if you have a tight space, it's not going to fit. This is an automotive tool, the Tight Reach. It's basically, there's a chain that goes round and round. So again, for tight spaces, and it can go either way. It's really convenient. If you're fixing front load washers, shocks, this is definitely a good tool for that. This is a specialty tool. Rotating ratchet, I believe it's marketed as. So regular ratchet, which is nice. But also, if you're in a tight spot, turning the handle also rotates the nut. Very, very convenient when needed, but it is a specialty tool. Poking and prodding. I don't even know what the brand is. You probably recognize. Maybe it's Tetcon. Hex key wrenches or Allen key wrenches, metric and standard or imperial. And I have one for Torx. Sometimes Torx, the screws are in really, really narrow areas. So it helps to have this because the 1/4-inch bit will not fit. And then putty knives. I don't think you can ever have enough putty knives. Plastic for plastic so you don't break it. And it's having variable stiffnesses is very convenient for poking and prodding and prying. And these are repurposed from refrigerator start devices. They're good hooks. They fit into, well, this I made into a scribe. Thumb ratchets. They serve their purpose. I didn't know which one I liked better, so I got both. Flat wrench, 17 millimeter. This is really useful for dishwashers, Bosch dishwashers. Their legs for adjustment, it's so close to the body. It's almost impossible to get anything else in there. And then a level. This one, torpedo level. It has a magnet. It level. Chameleon self-locking tape. I like this one. You pull it out and it locks. To retract it, you push the button. And then this is a vibrational tachometer. It measures the vibration of a unit running, and it gives you an approximation of how fast a motor is spinning. It's really useful in front load washers to diagnose if the motor is going out, if it's not spinning very fast. And on occasion, it's really helpful on a compressor for a refrigerator to get an idea if the motor is going bad based on how fast the motor is going. Because if it's not cooling and the compressor is revving really, really fast, then the check valves might be bad, and so it's not moving coolant. I have a Hitachi. This is the triple hammer impact. It's a drill. On the front, I don't use a turkey baster or a battery refill squirter. I like to use a syringe. I got this from a animal supply store. I find this to be a lot more useful than the turkey baster, but turkey basters work for moving water around. Just a container for holding screws. RTV silicone. Silglide for lube. These brushes, it's hard to find. If you can find something like this, it's really good. These ones specifically come from Sub-Zero for cleaning their drains, but I find that the stiffness of the bristles, and the stiffness of the metal is really good for cleaning a bunch more things. Sorry, I can't be more specific. Repurposed inlet water hose from a Miele dishwasher. This is really good, especially with vacuum cleaners to get into tight spaces. This is just common 1/4 inch line. Use it to snake, use it to move water. I don't think I put anything in here. It's just to hold the hoses. Front and center, the zipper is broken, but Band-Aids. Very important tool. Band-Aids. Gloves, fingerless gloves. Back pocket. Masks, because we live in that kind of world right now. Heavy milled gloves. And mechanics. These are socks for your forearms for heat, to keep, like, if you're reaching on the side of a compressor, so that the condenser lines don't burn you. This is a LED Hitachi flashlight. Yes, it's huge and it's super useful. It's only about 500 lumens, but it's hard to lose, and it sits on the battery. 2 specialty tools, again from Knipex. There's a hose clamp pliers. Very, very specifically made. Has these jaws that rotate, and they cup the edges of the hose clamps. I need these maybe once a month, but when I do need them, they save the day. This is an electrical installation pliers. I bought it just because I used to be an electrician. I rarely ever use it, but as a reamer, it works really well. As a cable shear, it works really well. And once in a while, I use it to crimp, because the thickness of the crimp is along the entire ferrule or crimp. This is a window and door tool, like checking for air pressure. It just fills up with air. You use it to pretty much lift appliances slightly off the floor, so you don't you don't scratch the floor when you're trying to get a slide underneath. This is just another driver set. Very important. If you accidentally open it up upside down, all the nuts will just come out. They're not secured in any way, and you'll have a mess. It's metric and imperial. Just boxes of stuff that I've made over the years. Jumpers, mostly jumpers. More Band-Aids, because accidents happen. Screws from different brands, mostly Sub-Zero, but common screws. And crimps. I don't think I need to, nope, I don't need to open it. Cable ties. Metal toothbrush. Another cleaning brush. And the bags of Vito. I had a Klein, 2 of them actually. I had this one. I used this one for about 3 weeks, maybe a month. Ended up not liking it. When you use it with the shoulder strap, the entire thing deforms, and if you ever need to run or jog, your tools have a chance of flying all over the place. Since I have this, here's a bunch of tools that I purchased that I kind of regret. The ratcheting version of the Klein. This thing is actually, it's so hard to turn, it's pretty much garbage. Flexible extension. It works, but it doesn't work with impact drivers. Measuring long distance, if what you're trying to measure, your tape measure isn't long enough. These are supposed to be good. It broke, so I haven't thrown it away yet. Hemostats. I used to use these a lot, but they are useful as an alternative 2 needle nose pliers. The Van pliers, also made by Engineer, for grabbing screws on the tip and twisting them. I don't regret buying more thumb drivers. This one, I bought it not knowing that it wasn't 1/4 inch, so I don't have these sockets. I bought one that swivels. This is a Husky. Well, I made the screws really tight, but if you loosen these screws, it allows it to swivel. I found it to be extremely annoying. Nope, done with that. Moving on to a few other tools that I regret buying, I guess, since I'm on that. Oh, side cutters, or flush cutters for electronics. I have one of these in my bag. I didn't see it. Mega Pro. This one, I like this brand. I mean, same thing like my ratcheting screwdriver. This one locks into place. This is finicky. It's aluminum, not steel. So for whatever reason, galling happens. Galling is when metal rubs off on each other, or dissimilar metals can rub off, or I guess similar metals also. But bits can get stuck, which is annoying. This is the stainless steel version. They should all be relatively good steel. I've had them break before they rust on me. I don't know why I bought this. This is a zip tie tool. You put the zip tie in, it grabs it, and then stretches it out for you. This is really, really convenient, but I don't use it as much as I thought I would use it. Just like the Van pliers, these are the Engineer brand, the needle nose, and linemen's. I don't use them. I wish I did. From Knipex, this is their standard Cobra. Actually, no, this is not the standard Cobra. This is the one that's supposed to close by itself and then lock. You don't have to push the button up and down. Don't use it that much. Oh, I forgot. These are in my bag. I do use these. Pliers wrench, mini Cobra, 10-inch Cobra. I bought the angled pliers wrench. I don't know why. I bought the brand new pliers wrench because it's black. And here's the original. Heavy duty nut driver. This thing is garbage. It is very heavy. The only thing it has going for it is, unlike most other Klein products, it doesn't rust when you get it wet. On the surface, it seems like a really good idea. Really useful to have all of these nut drivers in one spot. But the tool itself is heavier than the individual nuts that you can get separately combined. This is kind of a neat tool. It is a ratcheting crescent wrench. Occasionally useful, but since I have a bunch of the pliers wrenches, I rarely ever use this. And that didn't stop me from buying the complete set. These are very, 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 very frozen. Ah, oh, there we go. Yep, you don't use them and they freeze. Radio Shack Precision toolkit. Upgraded it to a Wiha. This is very useful, but I don't use it for work. Hitachi Chuck. It works with the impact, so I can use non-impact bits. Every guy is guilty of buying these universal socket drivers. I bought one from Israel. This one is a little bit different. Kind of neat. Neat and useless. It's like a caulking gun, but for tubes. Useless. The clamp is not movable. So if the end slips out, then it won't work. getting yourself one of these. I think this was a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, but you can buy it online right now. It's called the Big Squeeze. These work really, really well for tube things. You also can get a Chinesium version off of Fleabay or the Scamazon. Electric screwdriver. This I actually really like. The thing that people hate about this, which I actually like, is what engages the motor is pressure on the tip. You just choose the direction. It takes about 45 minutes to charge the battery. The battery will last about a half an hour. It's pretty good. When it's in the central position, like not forward or back, you can use it like a regular 1/4-inch screwdriver. The transmission locks. Another Mega Pro. I actually broke this one and tried to fix it. I think I partially did. This is what it looks like without the body. This is the carousel. Row gear. This is a really popular gearless ratcheting screwdriver, 1/4-inch driver. This is a collaboration of Row Gear and Mega Pro. For whatever reason, they didn't make a standard screwdriver. They made a T-ratcheting. So this is the Row Gear ratcheting mechanism and Mega Pro. I don't know how, but I broke this. And so it works for a T-ratchet, but I want a regular screwdriver. I want something like this. Right? This is what we want. This is another Knipex automatic wire stripper. Again, I don't know why I keep buying these. This one I do use. This is specifically for electricians. It's for the flat Romex cable. This one works really, really well. The stripping mechanism is a little bit different. I recommend if you're an electrician, this one is nice. If you do plumbing, this is kind of neat. Spring actuated tube cutter and fine adjustment. Where's the reamer? Right there. So this is a nice tool. Haven't really used it yet, only on a few 1/4-inch. So the tiniest Knipex Cobra pliers. Oh. Laser level and, well, not laser level, laser measuring tape and digital level. I don't even know if it works anymore, but I bought this to replace the Hilti and I never use it. I carry this on my belt occasionally. It's the set for the tiny Cobras and Pliers wrench. And then Fluke. Every technician, you need a multimeter. So, multimeter comes with the thermal heat probe for ovens and refrigeration, infrared gun for checking for a fever. These ones are nice. You can drop them, they don't break. And believe it or not, I bought this as a replacement or a backup for the Fluke amp meter. But because this one is smaller, I tend to carry it in my pocket more often. It was $3 or $4 on Wish, and it works. So that's nice. Alrighty, so those are my tools.